Hello everyone, welcome to an update on the Mixed Reef Aquarium. I know it's been a bit longer than usual, it's been just over a week now. Well, actually I think it's coming along nearly 2 weeks since my last update on the tank. The first thing you should notice is a piece of coral has enlarged, and it's this coral right here. This is a pink hystrix. This is the main colony here. Well, I won't call it a colony just yet, but this is the frag here, which is growing. It's doing pretty well. I've got a bit of hair algae here and there, which I can't really do anything about. But I've added on these pieces. They're a little bit decolored at the moment, but they have only been in here for a few days. These have come from a large colony from my dad's tank of pink hystrix. Quite a big colony actually. Snapped some bits off of that, and got some bits in here now. So there's two pieces of rock here, so it's kind of cool. They arch over like that, so there's pieces on that rock and some on this rock. I glued them down, pretty easy to do. They should colour up on the upcoming weeks. We'll see the colour should improve very quickly. You should be able to see a difference in colour between the two. You know, at the bottom one we got a nice bright pink, and then up top we got a kind of brown, but it's very new to the tank. It's different lighting, it's different flow, it's different pretty much everything, so it just needs to settle in. It shouldn't take long. Pink hystrix isn't, it's an SBS, but it's not massively fussy about change, so it should settle in pretty quickly. So we'll see what that does over the upcoming weeks. Got a few issues populating down here, one of them being, look at that, pulse coral. Don't want that. Hate pulse coral. It's a really annoying coral, spreads everywhere, and it's personally I don't think it's all that good looking, and it's kind of mixing in with the zoas. I don't think they'll harm each other that much. They're both soft corals, they're both going to grow pretty quickly, so I want to take that out of the tank as quickly as possible. And if you can see on this frag of coral here, that's Aptasia and another zoa which I'm not really too sure, but I'm pretty sure that is Biohome algae. It's very hard to remove. I think the only way to get rid of it is to grab my one Mexican turbo snail and just like literally lay it on it, and it should eat most of it up. I can't really pick it off. That's not going to get rid of it. I am dosing Vibrant. I've done 2 doses of it now for 2 weeks of dose, so it should start kicking in very soon. Hopefully it gets rid of it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If not, I'll put the snail on it. It should clean it up. I have dealt with this before, about a year ago with my fluval tank. I had Biohome on zoas actually, and the way I got rid of it was grabbing a snail and putting it on the algae so it will eat it, and it kind of sorted things out. So I think I'll do that if the Vibrant doesn't work. Okay, this literally happened like 10 minutes ago, but this candy cane coral, which is I'd say 95% dead, but there is 5% of it that's still a little bit alive. So that coral, it was sitting on here, but you can guess what moved it. You know, yeah, snail as usual, and it's kind of fell down here. So I'll put him back up there when I finish this video. So the reason I thought, because he was sitting on the frag rack for quite a few months actually to recover, but I thought it might be too strong lighting and not enough flow. So I thought let's put him in the same conditions that the rest of the corals are. So that's high flow, which they do like, and well, it's not high flow, but it's, you know, it's a little bit more than what it is up on the frag rack, and it's a lot less light, which will reduce stress. So it'll give it a little bit more chance to survive, which I doubt it, but I think, you know, that you can still see a little bit green in the center, but around the edge you can see the skeleton. But there's only one head, well, I'd say 2 heads alive. So I'm just going to keep it in the tank until it fully goes, if it does, which I think it will. But I'm going to give it a chance, see what it does, and yeah, I'll give you updates on that every week. Not sure if you can spot it, but this piece of red digi is a little piece I added on the top. That was sitting on the frag rack to recover, so I did put that with the extra bit of colony, which is growing very quickly actually. You can see down here, this is the area of the tank where it's a little bit stagnant. Well, as for flow, it's a little bit. It's not completely dead flow, but it's not much. You can see there's a bit of hair algae populating. There's a bit of coral there. That's a green star polyps coral right there. There's a few bits of everything really, worms, There's a few copepods sitting about around here as well, bits of rubbly rock, and there's just bits and pieces. It's a bit of a mess really. Don't really know what to do about it. I guess I could maybe stir it up or try and get a try and just remove it out of the tank, all this algae and rubbly rocks. I'll probably do that at some point just to clear things up with the tank. You can see there's quite a big bare bottom bit of the front here. The GSP has actually moved. It was glued onto the bottom of the tank, but he unfreed himself somehow. And I really don't want him attaching to that rock, so I'm gonna have to push him away and put him more into the front there where this fish is here. As for algae on the rocks, it's been the same since the new scape, which I thought would be a lot of algae, like lots of hair, lots of, you know, it's going to be a big issue, but no, not really. There's a few bits of this red stuff, not too sure what it is. Comment down below if you know what this is. This red kind of fluff. It's like hair algae, but it's really short. It's just it's not major. It's just a couple patches of it here and there. There's quite a bit of it on the back wall and the, what's it called? The filter box. Bits on the wave pump. But again, I am dosing Vibrant, so in a few weeks all algae that's in this tank should slowly start disappearing rapidly. I have some good news about Coralline algae, which most of you know I have been struggling to actually keep in this tank for, well, since day one really. I've added a lot of it into the tank, I've kept parameters stable, light's good enough. I don't know what the issue is, but I have noticed some specks pop up recently. If we look at the back, let's zoom in. I'm not too sure if you can see it, but if you look right dead in the center of the screen, those purple patches, there's two of them, one, and then there's one bit to the right. And if you look in the center now, there's another piece there. So those are new. I've only just noticed those. There's also a piece over here as well. So there are a very small handful of Coralline algae at the back wall, which is really good news. Hopefully that does start spreading more and growing instead of just disappearing like it usually does. But I think that should spread, and I think what has helped a little bit is this snail, because he's always traveling around all the rocks, you know, scraping his shell, which does have a lot of Coralline on it. And that's how it spreads, because he scrapes his shell against the rocks, the back wall, anything with a hard surface, and then it kind of just makes a footing, and then it spreads from there. So I think that snail's helped a little bit. So I'm gonna give you updates on that every week, and we can see the growth on that, which should hopefully, fingers crossed, that does get bigger and bigger. If you look at this green hirsuta, you can see there's a few bits that are dead on it. There's a few grey, well, white patches on all over the coral. It isn't dying. There's just a few bits that I killed with anti-Aptasia. There is still an Aptasia underneath it, which is putting it under a very low level of stress, but I'd rather not have it. So I've done 2 big doses of this anti-Aptasia with, actually done it 3 times actually. I've done it, and still there's 1 Aptasia. I've got rid of 2 of them, but there's still 1 underneath it. I guess I'm gonna have to do a 4th dose of it at some point. Probably do it at some point later on in the day, but I'm surprised all that dosage that I put into it, it hasn't killed it. It usually works every time. Overall growth on all the corals is still continuing to be rapid, mainly on the elkhorn, which is this green one right in the center there. That one's grown quite a lot. The blue digi, which is in that right underneath this arc in there. And what was the other one? I forgot what that one is. Oh yeah, this Aquapora here. It's a little bit browned out. I'm not too sure why, but the new stalks that are coming off, if you look at the base, there's all these little trunks that are starting to appear at the bottom. They are looking quite blue actually, so I think the coral's blue. I've never actually seen its colour because it's been browned out the whole time I've had the coral. So same thing with the one at the back as well. That was supposed to be green. Well, it's supposed to be pinky green. Well, that was supposed to be purple, but it turned green. Pink Millies turned green. And, well, actually, someone commented about that. Someone said lack of light. It can't. I'm not too sure what he said, but something about lack of light. But guys, look at the light on this. Two two LED 50s, 500 quid's worth of lighting over this, that's producing a lot of part, and it is quite high up, and it's getting a lot of flow as well. That shouldn't, I mean, that should be a lot of light there. Should be quite a high light area, but not too sure what it's doing. It should be pink, but it's kind of going green. Nothing really to say about the peacock wrasse, which I've been complaining about every week now. Haven't actually seen it in a couple of days. Some days I don't even see it at all. It kind of goes in the sand. It's usually in the same spot, which is about this kind of area. He's probably in there somewhere. In there somewhere, but yeah, still hiding away. Not really eating. Well, it is eating, but very little. Like really, really little. Yeah. Don't really see him, so I can't really do anything, just let him do his thing, but hopefully he does start to recover at some point soon. You see all the other fish are fine, two clowns, you know, acting as normal, all the wrasses swimming about, they're eating good. The sapphire damsel, which is the blue damsel at the back, next to that hammer coral there, he's coming out now. Yeah, he's doing really good, nice, actually he's getting quite big now, he's nearly at his full size I think he gets a little bit bigger than that. And the algae blenny, which is in this whole little, if you see him at the back there, he's picking away at rocks, which he's always doing really. He's good cleanup crew actually, really good. So apart from a few pieces of bryopsis, a little bit of red algae, one fish acting weird, and that's about it really. Apart from that, everything else is pretty good. Tank's pretty stable. Nutrients are pretty low, which is good. They're not too high there. I did struggle a couple of weeks back. Phosphates went really high, but I've managed to get those back down to almost zero, almost. Well, it's been nearly a week since I last tested, so I'll probably have to do another test maybe tomorrow if I can. If I get time to do that, I'll probably do that. So I think that'll end it here for this update. I will see you guys next week with probably another update on this tank. I'm going to do another update on my dad's tank at some point, maybe in the next few weeks, couple of weeks time. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.